eyes. Queen of discord where I stand, chaos in my every hand. Goddess of the wild night, bringing dreams to shattered light. Valhalla's throne is where I reign, with a heart that knows no pain. Goddess of the wild night, bringing dreams to shattered light. Valhalla's throne is where I reign, with a heart that knows no pain. Arrows of courage and might, feel the passion, feel the flight. Crave the edges of my dance, take a leap, take a chance. Attitude lights up the sky, sassy sparks that never die. In my world you'll find the flame, burning bright without a name. Feel the thrill inside your soul, breaking chains to make you whole. Through the chaos find your way, in my kingdom you will stay. Arrows of courage and light, feel the passion, feel the flight. Crave the edges of my dance, take a leap, take a chance. Goddess of the wild night, bringing dreams to shattered light. Valhalla's throne is where I reign, with a heart that knows no pain. Arrows of courage and light, feel the passion, feel the flight. Crave the edges of my dance, take a leap, take a chance. In the city, neon lights, dancing under cyber skies. Foxes running through the night, glowing with electric eyes. Wicked wrench from the east, schemes and plans never cease. Flying with wit, she moves so fast in the shadows of the past. Cyberfox run away, alien dreams night turns to day. Project story of the time, in this world of code sublime. Glitch in the system, clocks rewind, secrets hidden you can find. Tech and dreams they intertwine, through the matrix undefined. Feel the thrill inside your soul, breaking chains to make you whole. Through the chaos find your way, in my kingdom you will stay. Cyberfox run away, alien dreams night turns to day. Project story of the time, in this world of code sublime. In the shadows I reside, with that fire in my eyes. Queen of discord where I stand, chaos in my every hand.
Oh my god.
More rings of power. Yay.
Yay!
We did it.
We did it. God. I watched this episode earlier today. Like this morning when I was eating breakfast. And I am struggling to tell you what happened in it. Like I'm glad we're going by like me looking at my phone through the episode, because I don't think I would be able to tell you much.
I've seen this episode twice now, and I don't think I could do that. Like I've never encountered a show that does so much work to make you not remember a damn thing that's going on.
Yeah. I'm baffled by it.
So it just, there's no retaining power at all, because you just don't care about anybody.
No. Oh no. And the dwarves are getting stupider, okay?
God.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
starting to get to, they're starting to, I'm just like, no, guys, don't, no. No, I know they're not great, but they're like the only thing in this show that doesn't make me just want to die. Okay. So although I think
Okay, Chris, hold on. Chris,
what?
the reason I watched the episode twice is because I watch it once by myself and then I subject my wife to it.
I don't know. Is that acceptable?
It may be grounds for divorce at this point. Oh, I mean, she flat out told me at one point during the episode, when we get to the Numenor pool scene, I guess we'll call it. She basically went, "Why is any of this happening?"
Yeah. Okay, so I'm supposed to take everything. Like, if I had to do this, I don't know if I would ever subject myself. I don't think I have the time to do this. But if I would, if I had the time to sit down and isolate each storyline and make it like a continuous thing,
Mhm.
I don't think it would work.
I mean, it doesn't also change the fact that, like, character motivations from the first season are now like, completely out the window. Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't even know what the character motivations for the most part were, except Galadriel was obsessed with Sauron.
Yes.
That's all I remember.
And
really.
she at least she gets called out on that in this episode. Nothing
a little
happened.
bit. She's still in denial, okay, but like she did get called out. She got called by Adar. Do you know how weird that is? The bad guy's just like, hey, you have a problem, honey.
Adar has now become my favorite character. I am now firmly Team Adar. He wants to kill everybody. So you know what? Go right ahead.
Yeah, like that's a good reason to like.
He wants to take out the elves and then be left alone. You know what? I endorse this plan.
I can't argue with that. I think I'd have to say my like. So here's a character last season. I did like King Durin and Disa. This episode they've started kind of stupid. The dwarves became very stupid this episode. To the point it was just like if I was in an anime, I'd like. I mean, they've been stupid, but this is another level of stupid. Okay, like
yes, yeah.
Like,
I think the dwarves have reached a level of they've gone past the point of no return.
They're not redeemable, but I never expected them to be. But it still kind of hurts.
Yeah,
because
they were the best thing. Like, yeah,
they were the best thing. I kind of think. Okay, so I don't know at this point because I don't think the dwarves are going to get better. I think they're only going to get worse. So if I had to pick a character that I actually kind of look forward to for just the sheer hilarity of it, I think it'd have to be Celebrimbor because he's so stupid. He's so gullible.
God, he is broken beyond repair in this. I mean, this whole season he's been broken, but like this episode firmly establishes you can't. No, you can have the best writer in the world, and he can't repair the damage done to Celebrimbor.
Tolkien himself could come back from the dead, and he couldn't fix this.
No.
Right?
But if Tolkien came back from the dead, he'd fire everyone involved with this show and cancel it immediately because of the damage it's doing to his world.
Honestly, you could almost say it's slanderous.
Yeah.
So, isn't it funny? Like the boat, it's kind of funny in this episode.
You roboted real bad there for a second.
I did. Damn it. I said Galadriel isn't nearly as bad in this episode. Like the past 2 episodes, I've been able to deal with her. Last episode because she said nothing. This episode, it was like, oh my god, we're almost there. Oh, you did a dumb. But I mean, it's more than I usually expect of you. You didn't do a cringe. You did a dumb. Very different.
Well, hold on. No, there's still a cringe.
Hold on. Oh, Adar did severe stupidity. He was doing fine, and then it's like after he talked to Galadriel, he became incredibly dumb, but it was kind of funny. Because then it was like, then what was the point of talking to her? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you gotta just. All right. Anyway, all right.
Let's get into this.
All right. So I think the episodes are getting shorter, which is nice. It might not be that they're shorter. I think it's honestly just because
nothing is happening.
Well, no, it's because they do like a 3-minute long previously on, and then they do like a minute and a half intro, and then they have 5 to 7 minutes of credits. So it says an hour and 3 minutes. It's more like 50.
True.
So watch episode 6 again. Oh, yeah. All right, sorry, I gotta skip. Skip recap. The recap was 2 minutes, 9 seconds. Opening theme that I don't care about. About a minute. No, because it doesn't actually. No, I'm sorry. It is a minute and a half because they don't. When you hit skip intro, you still have to skip 20 seconds worth.
Yes. Because Amazon cares so much about the programming for the intro.
Yes. All right, so we start off with Elfman. Elfman is running, and I hate his stupid wood tree armor that looks like it's made of plastic.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit him well either.
No, it doesn't.
It's very unflattering to the guy, the actor.
And I think we just see him running, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh my god, is that all that is all he does this episode? So
I think that's all we get from him. He's just running. Yeah, because there's no Theo.
So,
oh darn.
No, that's fine, honestly. Even though I thought they were going together. That is whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. So
I guess Theo is still stuck in that Ent prison.
He's not. They released him, and then they said, "Hey, I'm gonna go. The orcs did this. I'm gonna go hunt down the orcs." And Theo was like, "Can I come with?" And I think he said yes. And then they ran off together.
Oh,
and
that's
Theo was
right.
Not around. Unironically,
right.
Wow. How did I remember that? That's kind of like a superpower, I think.
I completely forgot about that. That's right.
Holy shit! So Theo's is not here.
Yeah, he's just out hunting orcs now.
Yeah, so he's out hunting orcs. He does elfness doing, and I don't know how you know what? I'll give the show Elf Eyes. I'll give you the show the Elf Eyes. I don't know how the fuck he saw it, but Elf Eyes are kind of a bullshit OP power sometimes. So,
Well, because like if you're gonna grant the Elven Eyes now, they need to be brought up later because there's some huge problems.
Josh, I'm perfectly fine with pointing out problems. The thing is that Elf Eyes are a thing that have been established in this show, that were established in season 1 particularly.
Yes, they were.
So I'm giving out.
I'll even grant them credit.
Yeah,
I kind of like the way they utilized Elven Eyes in season 1.
Yeah, Yadril's standing on the boat, and he's like, "Hey, we're almost. I think we're almost to land." And she's like, how do you know? And then he's like, blah, 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 because I don't remember the line. And she's like, oh, well, you're right. And he's like, oh, how long have you known? Like an hour ago. And I'm just like, I don't mind that.
I was thinking of Elrond, mouth reading the lips of Disa and Durin when they're having a conversation, and when he knew, like, okay, Durin's hiding something.
Yeah. There's a few things where it's just like, okay, all right, that's not bad.
It's like, all right, okay, all right.
Yeah, so it's like nobody else would see.
Elves have incredibly keen eyesight. So, all right.
Yeah. And, no one else would see this. I certainly, I had to go, what the hell? Okay, so the director's telling you to look at his arm because there's no other way you would know. And then I had to go, okay, but elf eyes are definitely like a thing.
Yes.
So I might have to grant them this, even though I think it's bullshit, but I might have to grant them it because I didn't see that shit. But elf eyes are kind of OP a little bit.
Yes.
So that he sees this and he pulls out this I think it's this fabric, very dirty fabric because nobody bathes this fucking show. And I'm trying to, God, they linger. And it looks like a map. And I definitely got flashbacks to Rise of Skywalker with the assassin having the map of where the secret base was on his blade.
Well, I mean, I'm more accepting of a map to where you're going than having a map on a blade, and that's just stupid.
It was funny how my brain went back to that. So I just thought that was funny. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah. Honestly, these fucking forests are giant, and it's so easy to get lost in a forest. So it's like, okay, fine. I guess the thing is you'd have to find the river first, but yeah, like, okay. So we have orc. I do have an issue with orc deserters, just in general, but I don't because
they're going back to their families, Eris.
Orcs literally are created to serve Sauron and the Morgoth and all the, I think particularly Sauron, and
they have wives and children to go back to. Don't you care? They're just misunderstood.
They're not fucking soldiers that got drafted, you assholes. They're not. They're literally created to serve evil. That's why when the ring gets destroyed, that the earth, Middle Earth itself goes, and back to which you came, which is the ground where they were born from, okay? Because they were created as like these strong army that could just be replenished through magical bullshit, right? It's like an infinite army. And you can overwhelm your divided enemies with sheer numbers. Like, that's fine. I have no issue with that. I do have an issue with making them like fucking Vietnam, like draftees, okay? Where they're just like, fuck this, I'm going home. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
Don't you want to see a show where an orc has PTSD and he tries to reassemble back into civilian life? It'd be an intense drama.
No, like it bothers me because like the only time we saw orcs really get upset, right, was when they hadn't been fed meat.
Right.
I think that was in Two Kings, right? Two Towers. Fuck.
Wow.
My brain merged Return of the King and Tower. Return of the Tower. The Two Kings.
The Phantom of the Fellowship.
The Phantom of the Fellowship. Yes. So I just don't like the idea of deserting orcs. Okay. The rest of the scene is whatever. It's just that's the only time we see Elfman. and it's whatever. Now we get back to my favorite character at this point, Celebrimbor, being a total moron. It's kind of a delight to see him. How stupid are you going to be today? He never disappoints. Ye rings of men, why do you still defy me? And it's just like a fucking rectangle. And I'm like, Celebrimbor, are you even make circles? Like, how shit are you? Like, I honestly, you didn't know what an ally was in season 1, and you're a like well-known craftsman of metal.
Yeah.
You're like a master craftsman of metal, and you didn't know what an alloy was. Holy shit, dude! Like, he's sitting there, and he's just like angrily staring at this rectangular piece of metal.
Why aren't you a ring?
And he starts going on. Sorry, go.
I was just, he's looking at this rectangular piece of metal, and he's like, why aren't you working as a ring?
Can I recap the last 10 minutes? Okay, here you go. Here's the recap. Elfman defeated some orc deserters, which makes no sense that orc deserters are a thing. And then he found a map on one of them, and now we're back to Celebrimbor. Like, he's basically insulting a piece of metal because he's so shit at craftsmanship. Like, he's just... So that's it. That's all we've talked about. So, you're welcome. Please continue, Josh. Oh,
are you not gonna share the DM of his grilled chicken breast with mushroom and orange peppers?
You didn't DM me shit. What are you talking about? Oh, do I need to refresh Twitter because it's doing a dumb? No, you didn't DM me anything. I didn't get anything.
Oh, called out.
Did you hit send? It won't go, are you blocking me? Did I block Chris?
Never.
No. Following follows you. Is it too delicious? It might be too delicious. Send it to Josh.
Well, I mean, Chris sent me something that's also glorious. It has nothing to do with this, but it should be shared nonetheless.
It should be shared. No, that is great. I like it.
Yeah. Arwen with her Irish dancing cats.
I love this. This is fantastic.
Yes. Chris, please tell me you also sent this to Arwen.
That is beautiful. That's truly a work of art.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I'm not getting shit. I don't know what happened.
Huh.
I don't know. The power.
Anyway.
Power.
Yes.
So, this total moron. So he throws this piece of metal on the ground. And
there's a random mouse.
Dude, he throws a piece of metal on the ground, doesn't even try for a bin. What an asshole, okay?
Yeah.
And
it's like, you can melt that down and reuse them, right?
This moron doesn't even understand that you can reuse metal by melting it down, even though that's how he made the metal this entire time. All of the metal, all the rings, the dwarven rings and the elven rings, you melt down metal to then to resize it and create it into like whatever object that you want. Okay. That's how blacksmithing works. You moron. And he's just there's just a pile of it on the floor. And then he's like, hey, we need more silver and more mithril. And she's like, there is no more mithril. And I'm just like, yes, there is. It's on the ground. What do you mean? It's in the what? Are you telling me once mithril bonds to a metal, it can never be unbonded from that metal? What a shit metal.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
you could melt
there-
it. Like,
I mean, there've been ways for centuries for us to, purify metals and get them to unbond with each other. That's been a
Sure.
thing for a very, very long time.
You're not telling me that silver and mithril have the same density. You're just not telling me that. Fuck off. That's not happening. That's not a thing. Like, that's not no. I just extract the mithril from the thing. Also,
Oh, son of a bitch, Chris. Oh my god, that looks amazing.
oh, he's gonna torture me, isn't he?
I mean, he even it's like a professional quality picture too.
Hold on. Yeah, fuck you, Chris. You even have all those fancy plate. Look at it. It looks like it belongs in a restaurant.
I know. It's like,
you're cooking when you get here.
I mean,
Asshole.
he even cleaned the outside of the plate so it was pristine.
Ugh. All right. Look, yeah, I could just imagine him taking a piece of cloth, like
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay style, just wiping the outer side of the plate, and he's expediting on a. Damn it, Chris! You need to open up a restaurant. All right. What would we call Chris Persia's restaurant?
The Persian Empire.
Yes, you're no Gordon Ramsay. Well, stop cooking like you are. Damn you. That shit looks amazing.
He's too nice. He doesn't yell at the staff.
Yeah, that is true. He would be like the quiet boss, but then when he spoke, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my god, he has a voice.
Josh, you are hilarious. Oh my goodness.
I know. I just wish audience members would know that.
All right. So, apparently, the doors have been tardy with their delivery of mithril, which I'm going to go ahead and say this. All right. Assistant.
I didn't. Well, hold on. I didn't know that they had established consistent delivery.
A trade agreement?
I thought it was just you need mithril for the dwarven rings. Here you go.
So yeah, I love this idea of we just skip the trade agreement that would happen. I would have kind of liked to see that. Why? Because then we get to see the doors of Durin
which they made in Aragion and have to haul all the way back over to Khazad-dûm.
Yes. But I have to say, all right, Assistant Shield lady, I don't know what your name is. What is it? Miradana, whatever. All right, sweetheart.
Who may honestly be the worst actor in the entire show.
It may be. But honestly, you're never in charge of groceries. Okay. You're gonna wait until something is done and that we need. So something's gonna be out and you're gonna know it's out. Okay. And then you're gonna wait till I need it. And that's when you're gonna let me know that we need more of this. Okay. Like I'm in the middle of cooking a recipe and we don't have garlic. And you're gonna let me know when I'm about to put garlic in.
Oh, we're out of garlic.
Oh, thanks. You're never in charge of groceries. You're just forbidden from that.
Yeah.
Because
how can you be like the second assistant, like the first, the number one assistant here, and not understand the concept of inventory?
I should have known, multiple days ago that we were low on mithril.
Yeah.
Okay, I should have known, and hey, if we've set up a trade agreement, when were they late? Because they've been late apparently for a while. They have been tardy with their delivery. Okay, so it's been a minute, and you're just now letting me know when I need more. As somebody who's creative, that's fucking annoying. Stifled, shut down my creative process. It just
and then you get the all the customers demanding hey, where's the mithril? And I have to tell them we didn't get our shipment, and they try to blame me for it even though I had nothing to do with it. It's this is what management causes when they're incompetent.
Yeah.
They don't look down on the middle management elves.
Yeah. But
They don't look out for them.
Hey, they sent out all these we sent out all these messages, and I'm just like, did they so they never messaged you back, they never called you back, they didn't email you back, nothing. So you obviously should have gone there.
Since we know you can apparently just walk, we've seen them do it.
Since it's an hour walk away, why did you not just go there? And one episode, Durin came back 4 times.
Yes.
Like, and we're not given a strict timeline, so I have to assume they're like days apart. Or like a day apart. It happens one after another, you know? Yeah, don't wait until you run out of something before ordering stock. Order it before. So order it when you start seeing that it's low. Like if it's at 50%, right? Or
you know what?
left.
You know what my boss has me do once a week? Take stock of what of the items I need to do my job, and then tell him so he can place an order.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm getting low on this. I'm getting low on this. We're fine on this. We're fine on this. We're fine on this. We need a little bit more of this, and then he'll order it. And so that way, we'll get the shipment next week. It's not when where the hell's our order? We need it now.
Yeah. No, but they're like, oh, we're laboring as hard as we can. I'm just sitting here just like, I don't think I've seen any of you work at the same time ever. Also, there seems to be more of you than there usually is. Like,
I mean, how many of them were just mindlessly standing around when she turned invisible and was in the other world last episode?
I know, right?
No one seemed to care.
Also, how many does it take to how does one man blacksmith in just like a shop on the side of the road? Okay, but it takes like 10 of you to do this?
Yeah. To make jewelry.
Yeah. So, my favorite line of the episode's about to come up. Hold on. Wait for it. This is what I laughed at. Hold on. What is your name again? He says to his assistant. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud.
I laughed too because I was like, good question. I don't know her name either.
I know, ironically, was this the actor that kind of just like broke character for a second? It was just like
no one has said my name yet.
I've been exclusively relying on the IMDb X-ray thing that you get on the Amazon Prime app for me to know whatever the character's name that's currently talking is.
Right.
I'm not kidding. That's the only reason I know names for the most part. But when he's just like, what's your name? And I'm just like, you should probably know that, but that's a fair question. What the hell is your name?
I legitimately paused it and went, I don't know. Wait, what is her name?
I had to look at it. I had to go, what is her name? Oh, it's Meridian. I'm not going to remember that. She's the elf assistant. She's the secretary. Yeah. Oh. And she's like so offended. What do you mean you don't remember? And I'm just like...
There's also something I noticed during this whole scene. They're all wearing like their normal, like elaborate elven clothes with just like an apron thrown on top of it. It's like, really? They don't have like actual blacksmithing clothes?
They obviously would, but who cares, honestly. Also, I'm going to tell you right now, why is your hair down over your shoulders if you're working with tools like that?
With like hot tools, yeah. It's like, no, you'd have it up. You'd put your hair up. At the very least, put it back.
Yes.
At the very least, a ponytail. But yeah, you would get it out of the way when you're doing serious work like that.
Yep. And he forgot her name, and she was offended. And then
she certainly didn't act offended.
Her eyes were vaguely offended. They got wider.
I love later she says, like, I know I got Kurt with him. Like, did you?
You don't remember? I was just like, so you sound like you're mildly offended. Like, if you go to Starbucks and they mispronounce your name,
Yeah.
but it's spelled correctly on the cup, you're just like,
Right.
that's kind of like annoying. Like you knew how to spell it, but you didn't know how to pronounce it. That's a bit odd, but
and
whatever. I guess
we have a caramel macchiato for Josh. Like, okay, thank you. Odd, but all right.
Oh. Apparently, Celebrimbore's brain is starting to go for some reason. I don't know. I know it's been going though. Sweetheart show, I'm glad that you've actually put in something to explain why he's so stupid. I'll give you credit for that, but I know that's not what your intention was.
Even though there's no real reason his mind should be corrupted.
No, he's just becoming dumber. He's been in the show for too long. It's like the longer you're on screen, the dumber you become.
I mean, that would explain a lot.
Yeah, so you have Celebrimbore's been on the screen a lot this season. He's become incredibly stupid.
Is that why Nori has become a little less intolerable? Because she hasn't been
no joke.
On
I'm actually running with that theory. The more screen time you have, the dumber you become. Because like there are certain characters like Gladriel hasn't been nearly as stupid this season as she was last in comparison.
I mean, she's still stupid, but yeah.
She is still stupid, but like Celebrimbor is an incredible moron. Like just it's impressive.
Mark, I'll send Bree after you if you keep that up.
It's fine. We have no idea what this show is about anymore. It's fine.
That's also true.
So, yeah, Celebrimbor's like, no, I'm fine. Sauron, evil man, I'm fine. I'm just tired. I'm like,
you just need to focus on the rings. I'll take care of everything.
Yeah. It's like, oh, your people demand an audience. He's like, no. And I'm just like, okay. Sweetheart.
But hold on, because then Sauron mentions like hey, there are duties you have to do as Lord of Aragion. There are duties you have to perform. What exactly would he do if Celebrimbor then went, you know what, you're right, I need to take a break from the rings? Now what? Now what, Sauron?
Oh, the show would never let him be that smart. He's like, my greatest responsibility is to the rings. And I'm just like, okay, just go talk to your people for 5 minutes. It's not going to take long. It's fine. You can clear your head, go get some fresh air, Like, it's not that big a deal. Also, you can't do anything anyway because you have no mithril, you dumbass. Have you forgotten? You literally can't do anything at the moment. Because apparently you don't know how to separate and purify metals. Big dumb for a smith.
I can't believe they would portray Celebrimbor as being stupid.
His affairs at Aragion. I'm just like, of course he did. What? Of course, that's what he did. So, and Celebrimbor's just alone now. He's just alone. And elves come together before Celebrimbor, and there's a statue. And I don't know if that was supposed to be.
Hold on. Because he leaves. I want to point this out. It's like, you need to stay focused on the rings, but he just told you that you're out of mithril, so he can't make any more. So what's he supposed to do?
Yeah, I made that point a while ago. Were you not listening? You big rude. I said, I don't know what he was supposed to do. He said, my greatest responsibility is the rings, but I don't know what he's supposed to do because they just told him he's out of mithril and he doesn't apparently know how to purify metals.
You may have roboted and I was being polite.
Rude. Tell me when I robot.
It didn't last too long, so I didn't think you covered that much content of the episode.
I am so concise.
Okay.
I'm so concise with my words. So very concise.
I'm sorry. I will
Everyone
do
knows.
better.
Do better. Josh. Damn it. I will say, I don't know what the statue is supposed to be. If that's supposed to be Celebrimbor, then I don't know what character. Like,
I thought it was supposed to be just an elf holding up one of the Cimmerals.
I have no clue.
No, I don't. That's just a guess.
That would make more sense.
But that would also that also would require knowledge not provided by the show.
Okay, because I was like, what is this shitty diamond thing? It looks like it's a piece of plastic. What is this shit thing? This guy's holding.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, the statue looks better than any of the rings I've seen thus far. So, whoever did that statue, well done. Good job.
True.
I'm going to say it was SpongeBob.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, excellent.
I'm okay with that.
So, Sauron addresses the people, as he should.
Yes.
So, Celebrimbor's too busy. He can't address y'all even for 5 minutes. You know, he's doing nothing at the moment because he's ran out of mithril. So,
and all you Smiths are fired now.
oh yeah, no, that comes later. That comes later.
Oh.
He's got to lead on the she-elf before.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's got to lead her on a little bit just because she kind of vaguely looks like Galadriel because she's blonde and an elf. So, you know, he has this rebound elf. That's kind of what she is. She's like a rebound. Kind of feel bad for her in a way.
He even flat out said, you know, you kind of look like our my lady Galadriel.
Yeah, well, she should have taken it. So, yeah, Sauron basically takes it upon himself to put himself in charge of the city. Rip to all. I will have to say this is my favorite outfit Sauron has worn thus far. So I like the little shawl of nonsense that's happening on his shoulder. I do like it. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but I like it. Yeah. I kind of wish it was raven wings, but that's just me. I'm a sucker for like evil beings wearing like feathers and stuff. You know, I just like the look. It's cool. So somehow, over the course of the conversation, the elf smiths came outside and are now aware of something is afoot.
Yes.
That joke would have been funnier if all that was left was a foot, but it's fine.
Something is a chest. That doesn't quite work.
No, something is a body. There we go. So apparently, nobody's coming into the city, which is very suspicious. But fair, that is suspicious.
Yeah.
And so they did a smart. I'm proud of them. They did a smart, and they sent out a party to figure out what's going on. And nobody really came back except for a body that got washed up on the shores. And
yes.
There's a whole bunch of, what is it? Is it called black speech?
I don't know. Yeah. I believe it would be black speech.
Black speech.
Not the best way to send a message.
Yeah, like you really assumed a whole lot, you know. I would have used one of their catapults and I would have flung him, you know, just flung him into a building or something.
It's like you could have just sent a piece of parchment with the writing, to give him a warning, not just carve a message onto a dead elf and then toss it into the river and hope he washes up on their shoreline and that it gets taken to the people who need to know.
Yes.
It's like, what are you doing?
Guys, that was not an efficient way to, like, you could have just sent a pigeon, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Or an arrow. That would have been nice. Like a flaming arrow.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been an efficient way to send the message.
And then, I also, because so there's this carving onto this dead elf, and Sauron tells them, to bury it, make sure no one sees it. But they're like out in the middle of a.
It seems. Yeah.
But it's like you're in the middle of a courtyard. What are you talking about? You didn't even have a blanket over the guy.
First of all, there was 30 people who came up wanting you to address this. So
Yeah.
the fact that there are 30 people who know about this means that everyone in the city is going to know about it. All right?
Yes.
This is how gossip is.
I mean, he didn't try to get them to sign an NDA or anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's out of the bag now.
Yeah, and Justin says wasn't the message on the dead elf's chest "Beware, Sauron is among you" or something? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's what I thought it said. Something along those lines, because there was an awful lot of blethering in there. For it just
No,
to be
it was just where is he?
Where is he? Capitalized the H in he, and that's actually the episode's name. But
yes,
so
it is.
that was intentional, and I have to go. I feel like it definitely said, "Hey guys, Sauron's there. Sauron's among you." You know, like, why would you be cryptic? If you know Sauron's there, you just have to assume he's going to intercept that message.
Yeah.
Right. Also, why would you? So Adar is an elf. I know he likes to call himself an orc now, but I was fairly certain he was an elf because he called himself an elf in season 1. Although maybe they've changed that. I don't know. I thought he was an elf. So wouldn't he have written it in like High Elvish? So that every elf could understand. If your message is to go, "Hey guys, Sauron's there," because you're trying to drive him out of the city, because you're trying to get rid of him, because he's our enemy, right? Why would you be cryptic in black speech, which is the only person who's going to read that is Sauron? No one else is going to be able to read that. So why wouldn't you want the most amount of people in that city to know? That way they can start figuring out who it is. By the way, it's very obvious who it is. So the second somebody starts dropping that little knowledge of Sauron's there, you're gonna be able to figure it out.
Well, I mean, it would help if Sauron wasn't being the most obvious evil person in existence.
Yeah, like I would definitely, if I was Adar, I'd write it in Elvish.
Yeah,
1,000% I'd write it in Elvish. I'd never write it in black speech. Because I want everyone to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adar was one of the original orcs. Is it the orcs were like?
Well, Adar's an original character.
No, I know, but it's like the idea of that species was like.
Yes. Yeah.
So, fair enough. Let's get back. So apparently, Celebrimbor just going, "Hey, can you go get the Mithril, Sauron?" And Sauron's like, "Okie dokie." He has now taken over the city. He's now everyone thinks he's in charge of it now. He's taken over Celebrimbor's duties. And he has he's now told the Smiths, "You're not allowed in here anymore." Which I find really funny. Because eventually Celebrimbor is gonna know that no one's going to work.
I mean, do any of them also make sure their Lord Master is also getting fed and everything like that? So
Well, I have to ask, do they not have little workstations they would like to clear out? Like their little cubicles,
They all have to go back in there and put everything into like a little like board,
Cardboard box.
a cardboard box. They clean out their desks.
Yeah, I was just like, it's a tall tower, right? Like,
Yeah.
surely there's somewhere they put stuff.
Yeah.
Personal effects. Like if they had rings on their hands, they're not putting the rings on while smithing. I don't know. I also don't understand. They should have their hair pulled back. And they should have like a different outfit on other because those are really pretty those are pretty outfits they have on. I don't want to get grime dust, like metal dust and sweat and just like I don't want to get all of that on my outfit.
They're elvish clothes, they're fine. They resist all dirt.
I'm sure unironically that's probably what it is. I personally would care more about, like, I would have, like, an outfit that I would wear there.
Yeah.
Like, that's just me. It's like, oh, he stripped us of our duties, and, oh, yes, I'm afraid so. And she's like, was it that business about him forgetting my name? Which was hilarious. I know I was brisk, but he's not himself, Meridania, and whatever.
And again, I remember when I saw that, and she said, I know I was brisk with him. And I was like, were you? I didn't.
You seem very mildly offended. Very mildly, I would say. It's like, oh, all we can do is leave him in solitude.
It's kind of like, when you get a brain fart, you're just like, seriously? I've worked here for 7 years. So there you go. You remembered now.
Yeah. And you're just, oh, you don't understand the timeline, Justin? It's okay. No one does.
No one does.
Literally, time cannot exist as we know it for this show to work. It just can't. There's a point at the end of the episode that it did a thing that it did last season that really aggravated me. Because I don't understand where Celebrimbor is mentally. Like, I make fun of him for being stupid because he does make a lot of stupid decisions. But holy shit, there is some things that So anyway, I'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, pray that he finishes his work before it finishes him. It's like, okay, so you hired like 10 elves to help you make these rings. Eventually he's going to figure out that, first of all, I don't even know who, but he has to have these elves, presumably, to make these rings. Even though he really didn't, he kind of needed them in the first season, but it didn't seem he needed them as much. And there seems to be more. And yeah, they're making more rings, but like, if the show's going to establish that he needs these smiths to make these rings, then by banning them, and I know why he's banning them, it's because he can isolate Celebrimbor, which is what he's been wanting to do this whole time. He can isolate him.
More hands, light work. He's going into mass production. It's what you do when you expand your business.
Yeah, and technically 9 rings is he has expanded his business. And
3 to 7 to 9. I don't. What's the problem?
It's like fine, fine. If you want to establish that he needs all those elves, fine, whatever. I don't know if he needs them, but also I don't know blacksmithing.
Right. Because I would think they'd be working on some would be making like elvish swords for the army or stuff like that, or other bits of jewelry, necklaces, for to sell in the town. And Celebrimbor is focused on this ring project. Then I can understand a lot more.
Like, hey,
but it
seems
like he has like
this, or whatever, but not like 9 dedicated elf smiths.
Right.
Yeah. So he makes a move, he grabs her hand. And I have no idea what her expression's supposed to be. My goodness. Can I trust you to make sure the others respect his wishes as well? I'm just
again, I tend not to criticize people's acting when I know there's other elements, but I think she's terrible.
Celebrimbor is Lord, though. If he kicks him out, that's the order. I know, but at the same time, like, he didn't. So Celebrimbor would ask, hey,
Where
are my Smiths? Now obviously Sauron would lie to him.
Yeah.
But, like, Sauron didn't... Sauron seems to be kind of making this up as he's going along.
But it's a master plan!
Master plan. It's my master plan. Yeah. It's all part of the plan. But it's like...
And I don't understand how it would hinder how does this benefit? How does firing all the other Elven Smiths benefit Sauron when he wants to get the rings made?
So this is a problem. He wants to isolate Celebrimbor, and he has successfully done that this episode. However, it has also been proven in the last few episodes that he needs these elves in order to make these rings. Or else, why the hell are they all focused on it? And why is he so focused on them making the rings? I mean, if he doesn't really need them, like you said, they should be working on other projects. I just, at the end of the day, like, he did get what he wanted, but I do have to wonder, how will this affect making the rings? And honestly, the show's probably going to tell me it doesn't affect how long it takes for him to make the rings.
I'm going to predict that what they're trying to set up is that Celebrimbor will finish making the rings just in time for the orcs to take over and destroy the forge, thus eliminating any more rings being made.
Well, how did he make the one ring? I actually don't know that information.
He went to Mount Doom. That's where it was forged.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I forgot that he literally said he forged it in Mount Doom. I like to think
that's the one place it could be unmade.
So I'd like to think that the orcs like took the forge and carried it to Mount Doom.
they just take that whole tower and just move it. Oh god, is that going to be the tower where the eye is?
Yeah, I would love that. That would be amazing. I think that would be hilarious.
They just move the whole thing brick by brick.
No, just push it.
Like, Sauron, this is going to be one hell of a moving project. You know that, right?
Exactly.
We got. I mean, I got two guys in a truck, but I don't know if they're going to be able to move this.
Yeah. So I guess Celebrimbor is going to make the rings by himself.
They call him moving company.
Oh my god.
If we if we get the flatbed down, we should be able to fit this sucker on there.
So Celebrimbor has apparently fired them as far as the Smiths are concerned. That She-Elf wants to know, hey, what did the carving say? And he said, where is he? And she looked vaguely confused, and that's fine because I was also confused on that's what it said. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not what it said, but again, as I said, I would have written it in Elvish.
Rambam, this is going to be triple time, no question, Mr. Sauron, sir.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say, I don't understand if Sauron wanted the orcs to come to him. I guess he did, but I don't 100% know why he wants the orcs to come, because I don't know how that benefits him. It's like they're going against elves, like a city of elves. Like, surely the orcs would be defeated, right? I mean, you're talking about like 100, I think, orcs. And these are the elves that took down Balrogs?
Yes.
I actually have no idea how many orcs there are. It fluctuates from episode to episode. I'll just say 100. It might be more. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more when the battle happens.
Well, I mean, we saw earlier as Galadriel was, slicing through them, none of them like loosed an arrow at her. So they
Yeah.
seem to be kind of useless in fights.
Yeah, I don't know. So we are now with Adar and Gladriel, our favorites. Aren't we excited? And there's actually edible, dude. There's actually edible food on the table, which I think I was a little bit more. I was the most surprising thing this whole episode.
I know I would have tried most of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the chicken looked delicious. Like the berries look amazing. Like
Yeah, fresh berries too. I didn't know. I don't know how they're
orcs picked the fresh berries. All right, I want you to
okay.
think about that. Yeah, the orc wives picked the berries.
Yeah, the orcs have the orcs have some blueberry trees. So it works.
So, Adar is trying to win Gladriel over. That's basically what's happening right now. And he's basically trying the empathetic approach, where he's trying to build rapport, kind of like you'd seen in an interview, like an interrogation, where like he's just trying to initiate rapport with the
Right.
with the suspect. And he said some really legit things like, "Hey, once he's wormed, he's wormed into your mind. Talk about Sauron, and of course,
which I'm thinking is the setup line for what happens later, but it doesn't account for it.
No, it doesn't. And Gladriel is so deep in denial. She's drowning in the river. Okay, that's how deep she is. And
yeah.
She's like, oh, you yielded. I resisted. And I'm just like,
no, you didn't.
Literally did not. Okay, I watched season 1. You absolutely did not.
Like, what are you talking about? You gave him everything he needed.
You championed him as the king of the Southlands. You absolutely did not resist him.
You're the one that convinced him to go back to Middle Earth. He was fine just being a smith in Numenor.
Yeah. No, you didn't resist. I'm like, you're a denial, sister. Honestly, Gil-galad, you never should have sent her on this mission. We're trying to get the exact quotes. But I love her saying you yielded to him and I resisted. That's so funny. It's like, for a while, perhaps. Literally did not resist him at all. Absolutely. Within 5 minutes, she was completely under his control. But sooner or later, he sees you. And not just who you are, but who you wish to be. His eye bores a hole and the rest of him slithers in. And I'm just like...
You get it? Because of the great eye. It's Sauron. You get it? You get it?
Yeah. Actually, he did pretty much everything he could to just resist Gladriel. Gladriel's the one that drug him there. So he even makes you believe that his power could has become yours. And I'm just like, I don't think that's what Gladriel used Sauron, faking being the king of the Southlands, to get her army, quote unquote army. It was 30 people. And to go to the Southlands to protect a single village of people randomly strewn about in the Southlands from orcs that they would have no idea any of that was happening. And then because they went there, Mount Doom was created.
Yeah.
And then almost the entire party was wiped out. The queen was blinded. The captain of the guard lost his son, quote unquote, and they came on 3 ships and went back on 1, saying bare minimum they lost 2/3 of their people. So,
Yeah.
and that whole time she was championing him. He didn't convince her to take her to take him to Celebrimbor. He was like, he got stabbed or like was bleeding out or something. And she decided that instead of, I don't know, I would have gotten first aid from the Numenorian. Like they know shit. They're supposed to be very intelligent, advanced people. They probably would, and I'm sure there's no reason you would go to war without bringing a healer along, right? Like you obviously would bring medics, but nope. We went to.
I've played RPGs. You got to make sure you bring the white mage.
Yes. So I'm kind of looking at this like this whole thing. It's funny how much better I remember season 1 than season 2. It's like none of that really seemed to be Sauron doing anything. Like the only time I got an inkling that he was bad was when he got to the forge. He really didn't do anything past that. Now they've retconned that a little bit with the beginning of season 2, but like
boy did they retcon that.
even with the retcon, it doesn't change what ended up happening.
Right.
So
it just makes Sauron look more like a guy who's just kind of stumbling along and just making it up as he goes. It doesn't seem like it's a master plan. Like it's actively hurting what you want, what the show is trying to tell you is happening. It's like, but like if he was, so it was his plan to get murdered and turned into a venom symbiote and have to eat rats and centipedes and an old lady, and then come across a random traveling group, and then get on a boat, take a dying man's symbol, which just happens to be the symbol of a king, have the ship attacked by a gigantic sea creature, come across an elf who decided not to go to heaven and start swimming back to Middle Earth, get picked up by a Numenorian ship, start to work as a smith, but then get recruited into being the king of your homeland, and nothing makes sense. Like, how is all this planned out? I don't buy that.
I don't either. I honestly, it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess Galadriel drugs Sauron into being evil again. Like that's what I have to conclude from season 1. So Adar and Galadriel are basically talking. Like Adar's trying to convince Galadriel that she was under Sauron's spell, and she kind of accepts it for like a second. Almost,
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Like, what else? What help could you provide?
That's right, Chris. Convoluted barely covers it.
Yes. It's like, oh, what help could you provide? Because we're trying to defeat Sauron. Had thousands of years to plan while he was a puddle of goo. Ah, yes. I actually have no idea how much time passed. I have no idea how much time passed. Like Durin went to whatever. Anyway,
I know. It's so hard to try to keep the timelines in mind with this. From when he gets stabbed, turns into goo, and when he retakes his human form, how long was that?
Yeah,
a couple weeks later, a couple months later, hundreds of years later. No idea. It's not stated.
No, and because I don't exactly know how long Adar lives, or like, or just the next, like, how many generations of orcs has he gone through? Am I supposed to assume he's like multi-generational orcs into this now, you know?
Well, you know, the orcs, they have their children, they send them off to college, he watches them grow up.
Yeah, like I don't understand the orcs in this show either. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so we see the crown, and she says it's the crown of Morgoth, and I'm going, that's a little small for the crown of Morgoth, Galadriel.
I started howling, like, no!
Because
Morgoth is like over 20 feet tall. No!
Morgoth is huge, okay? Like
Gargantuan!
dude, the hood ornament to his, like, what is it, his hammer that he uses is like the size of a castle door, okay?
Yeah, it's like, no, that's no way Morgoth's crown. That might be his toe ring. Come on.
He might be his, like, pinky toe ring, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay? It might have been an earring that he was wearing, okay? Like a small hoop. But, like, there's no way that was his crown. I just don't, like, you couldn't, like, you'd have to break off a piece in order for it. No, if you said this was made from a piece of Morgoth's crown, fine.
No, they said Sauron resized it. Like, you are not resizing something that huge.
Yeah, I thought he was the size of a mountain. He's huge. He's gigantic. Like, you can't, something upon something that big's head cannot fit on a normal human's head, ever. There's never a time where you're going to break it down enough.
Yeah.
So dumb. That is so incredibly stupid.
It's like, but then it's like, okay, so that's a piece of Morgoth's crown, or that is Morgoth's crown. It's been resized. Okay, whatever. So does that mean Morgoth also had a crown that could stab him to death? It seems like that's a huge design flaw.
Yeah, why does stabbing Sauron with this crown hurt him? I know they're trying to do, the things made from evil hurt the evil. And I know that's what they're trying to do because of the ring. But it's like, no. The ring was basically, so to put it in Harry Potter terms, right? He basically pulled all of his Horcruxes into one thing, which was stupid.
Yes.
Okay.
Diversify.
He put his soul into the ring, right? And so it's like he become, or at least that's what it seems like to me. So when you destroyed the ring, you destroyed him. You destroyed his very essence, his ties to this mortal plane.
Yes and no. It's the ring. He poured so much of himself into the ring.
Okay.
But when it's destroyed, it doesn't technically kill him. It's but it prevents him. But it does prevent him from ever taking form again.
So what? He just whispers in the wind.
It's, in essence, yeah. Like he now has no form. He cannot. He can never like manifest and take control of people or anything like that. It's essentially his strength and all his power.
Oh, so he's like on the other side of a fence, basically. He can't do anything that happens inside of the fenced off area.
Correct.
Okay. He's just stuck there watching. Oh, that's actually a really good way to basically damn somebody forever in that regard. He's forever basically tasked with watching and never doing anything.
Correct. Yeah, he can no longer influence anything. He can't, take shape. He can't interact. He's just in the ether.
Interesting. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, because he is a Maiar. He can't technically be killed.
Yeah. So I think they think if they stab him with it enough times that he'll be fine. But I'm just like, that didn't work last time, so I don't even know why we're talking about this. It literally did not work last time, as yourself you can see.
Well, maybe they've learned, and they're like, okay, if we stab that guy, it's going to make the whole place really cold, and we don't want to do that again.
Yeah. So that's what my initial thought was, and then they were like, "Oh no!" So if we slap, so there were Cimarrols in this thing, and I was just like, "Okay, stop talking about the Cimarrols. If you're not actually going to tell me anything about the Cimarrols, then you should need to
because
stop
they
talking about
can't.
yeah." So it's like, okay, so
It's like
instead of
basically
saying,
all they can do is essentially reference the Cimarrols, but they can't talk about what they are and what they do.
yeah. So he wants to put the elf rings on the crown to destroy Sauron. Essentially, seems to be what he wants to do. And I'm like, I have no idea how that would work. So what, we stab him again? Like, what exactly are we gonna do with that?
Yeah.
You know? So I really have no fucking clue what we're looking for involving that. But you know, hold on a second, I'm trying to go back. So it's like, oh hey, us winning now rests in your ability to put aside your pride. And I was just like, Adar, you better give up on that. She literally is incapable of doing that.
But him saying that line is what rocketed him up to my now favorite character. It's like, finally!
Yeah,
someone said it out loud.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, she's incapable of doing that. She has proven that time. Literally two people's like dispense. I feel like if Sauron just if someone just punches Sauron in the face, he will shrivel up in a ball. He does give off very weak energy, doesn't he?
He does.
Like, you could probably just throw him off a cliff and it would be fine, you know? He doesn't really give me, I don't get, you know, I don't get powerful vibes from him. And so he's like, you know, I was like, yeah, you better you need to put your pride away. And
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the one scene that happens. It might be in the final episode of this season when Celebrimbor finally learns who he is.
I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I'm as excited about that scene as I am about Numenor being destroyed by the tsunami.
Yeah.
And then guess what? We're back in fucking Numenor. Speaking.
Well, hold on.
What do you mean? Hold on. There was nothing else that happened. What do you mean?
Well, because he's like, okay, you need to think about this, and then he then puts like a handcuff on her, and that is the dumbest looking handcuffs I've ever seen.
Dude, she was handcuffed. He unlocked him and then relocked him in when she didn't immediately jump to helping him.
No. But take a close look at those handcuffs.
No, I know. They just kind of they're like Tupperware. Or like a to-go, you know.
It's just one stud that's holding it in place.
It's like the to-go containers you get where you have to pop the little things on the side in order to get it to close all the way.
He has to burp the edge in order to get the handcuffs to close.
Yeah, I kind of, my first thought was, I think she could just escape, but she does it.
Totally
so
could.
I guess she's whatever. So I just kind of was like, whatever, I guess.
I just wanted to make sure the stupidity of those handcuffs were mentioned.
Okay, all right. Well, the handcuffs have been talked about and have been insulted accordingly. We are back in Numenor.
Yay!
Let me tell you, I have no idea what happens in the scene other than the captain gets sentenced to death. So this should be fun.
Well, hold on. The person who delivers the sentence has the most mismatched voice for that role. Yeah.
Well, I'm watching it again because I have to. I don't remember. It's high treason. I was like, how the fuck? What high treason did he get? So he was praying, and then he was attacked, and then he defended, and didn't actually do anything. Like, really?
I mean, are you forgetting about the politician's son with his offhand defeated a trained soldier last week?
No. I know that. I'm just saying, like, why is the cat? I know the captain's being blamed, but my brain just doesn't comprehend how, like, it just doesn't. Because, like, okay, so we have multiple dead bodies here, right? Well, no, we have one dead body, and it's of the guy that he was on. I was friends with his son that he obviously, like, chilled.
Oh my God, Chris, I want that to be true.
Finding out who Anatar is, he will have a faraway look that says, I can change. Oh my God. No, that's Galadriel's line. Let's be honest with ourselves. Right.
True. But I want that to happen.
So he gets sentenced, so the captain gets sentenced to death. And I'm just like, for high treason, but I'm trying to figure out what exactly they could have come up with that could have resulted in high treason. Because the sun isn't
going against the orders to clear out the temple because
at
they
night?
have to,
literally at 3 a.m. Really?
I know.
What, you're gonna start working on the aqueduct now? Like, let me finish praying, assholes. Like, we'll leave, and then you can start construction in the morning.
The cement truck's not due until 10. Come on, which means noon. Let's be honest.
Yeah. You know, oh, he was very faithful for many years, and I'm just like, yeah. So don't you all think it's fucking bizarre?
Yeah.
That the guy that's like the closest to the queen is being labeled for high treason. Also, why is this guy our king? I have no idea, honestly.
Maybe just low treason.
Yeah, it's low. I should be low treason, honestly. Like,
high treason's a bit much, don't you think, guys?
He's done a lot of good shit, you know. I guess his arm is in a swing. The sun.
Yes.
Just don't. Okay.
I don't care about him at all.
I don't care. I'm trying to get through this because I honestly don't care about this part. He pledges his loyalty to the new Numenor ruler who's been here for 2.5 days and has already pissed off everybody. Do you renounce your crimes? Yeah, I'll renounce my crimes because I didn't do them.
He renounces the crimes. It's like, yep, okay. It's like, what? Yeah. Why wouldn't
pledging?
Like, I mean, how does that work in a court of law? Like, you know what? Yes, I renounce committing that murder, sir.
Also, let me just say this.
Okay.
Like, I'll just say this. He was really stupid for not saying that he would be loyal to the... Because, I mean, I'm sorry, dude, but at the end of the day, you're the captain of ships. You know? Like, probably should have... I don't know. Like, what's the best way to go about getting what he wants? It's to pretend like he's loyal to this guy, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought he was just supposed to be loyal to the ruler, not a particular ruler, right?
But then, I mean, yeah, it's like, you know, an army soldier, right? Like, they are, you know, their job is to carry out the orders of the president, but the president changes.
Yeah,
they're loyal to the office, not the person.
Yeah, just because the general doesn't like the president in office doesn't mean they're not gonna, like, unless the president says something really stupid as like an order, like, then I think that as far as that goes, like, if somebody says something really stupid as an order from the higher up, I feel like it's perfectly fine to not do that order, you know? Or something that's obviously going to get yourself killed for no reason or something like that, you know? But that's not what's happening here.
No.
I mean, you know.
It's like, and also, it seems like the only reason he is so determined to stick up for Muriel, even though, by the way, I'm still confused by an eagle will bless the coronation, and yet it's her coronation and an eagle shows up. So why wasn't that taken as a sign for Herazon?
I
That
don't know.
it makes no sense.
Dude,
I mean,
I have had to literally move on from that because it absolutely doesn't make sense.
but anyway,
Anyway,
so I'm not sure why he is so intent on standing behind Muriel for her claim to the throne when, one, she has shown that she's not a very good ruler. She's got hundreds of your people killed for getting involved with a war that you had no business being a part of. And two, she herself is not really fighting back for it so far.
mhm.
And we also know that this Numenor has a system where kings are fairly easily deposed because her father was.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me into, and I still don't quite understand why you would depose a king but then install their daughter as as the ruler. That makes no sense to me either.
No.
But it, outside of the fact that they're clearly shipping these characters, why is he standing up for Muriel?
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. So he obviously is like, no, I'm loyal to the chick because we're obviously being shipped together. And even though it's perfectly fine to have a captain be loyal to the queen, even though he'd have to swallow his pride, right? For this. But, and he's like, oh, and all the people are cheering and it's great and whatever. And they're just like, well, guess what? We found in this book that we can let the fucking sea worm thing judge whether or not you're like a witch in the Salem witch trials. Okay, like we throw you into the water, and if you sink, then you're a witch,
we'll
or
throw
you're
you
not a witch, or whatever.
We'll throw you into the water, and if you die, that means you didn't do it, and we'll be really sorry.
And be like, oh shit, she wasn't a witch. Anyway, moving on. It's like the same energy. Yeah. We're gonna throw it into this wild beast, okay? And we're gonna let the beast choose whether or not, you are absolved of your crimes or not. It's like, what? What is it? Trial by abyss. That's what it's called. Trial by abyss.
If she weighs the same as a duck, then she's a witch.
Yes. So I'm trying to figure out what he said. So, Gandalf got a previous, what's to happen on the next episode.
The Gandalf scene. This one made me mad.
Would you like to take this?
Well, I don't remember how the scene begins. I remember when they got to the stick pit.
Well, he was asleep and then Tom Bombadil was sleeping, and he's like, oh, he's doing the thing from Empire, which is like, but Yoda, I need to go save my friends. And Yoda's like, oh, but you need to finish your training because then you'll never be able to come back and train. And, I'm not kidding. That is what happens.
That's true. That's very true.
The Star Wars scene? Yeah, that is exactly what I got from it. Like, I watched it this morning and I'm sitting there just like, is this what happened with Luke and Yoda?
Mm-hmm. Except there was a reason why Yoda was so determined to get the training done, because he knew his time was growing short.
Yeah, because Yoda was literally dying. Tom Bombadil doesn't die.
No, he is the first and last creature. So, yeah, he's like,
pick a stick.
Yeah, I have to find. I have to. I'm concerned about my friend Nori. She may be in trouble, which is ironic because I don't care about them at all. I live or die. I don't care about the Harfoots in the slightest.
Yes.
But
Oh shit! I melded the two Harfoot. I've melded the two fucking Gandalf scenes together. We actually cut to the Harfoots first.
how dare
But
you get me off my rhythm? I was about to go on a rant, but okay.
hold on, hold
We
your
need to.
rant. All right.
Yes.
So Nori proves that once again the holes were holding character back. And like literally, she is more tolerable without the olives. I don't know what happened. It's very weird. Um,
The olives were like I guess the vines were like starting to get to her brain. So once they're gone, she's able to think again.
Yeah. Yeah. So so Nori's talking to the head hardfoot lady. I'm sorry, head whatever fucking
The stores.
denomination of Hardfoots. The stores. Okay, whatever. I really don't care.
I know.
The sand people. That's what they are.
The people
They're
who
the sand people of Hardfoot.
the people who live out in the desert who somehow still have a ton of green.
For some reason,
Okay.
non-nomadic desert people. Like what? Anyway, so it's like,
Oh, Chris,
hey,
Chris, don't even get me started on how the hell Poppy and Nori survived that tornado. They should have
died.
They should have been killed easily.
Yeah. So Nori's talking to head Hardfoot lady or whatever type of whatever head hobbit of the sand hobbits, and she's saying, "Hey, we can't leave because I like my home," which I mean, fair. That's fair. She likes her home, and I like this tree, and I like all these things, and I'm gonna we'll put up a last stand, I guess, for these evil people coming, and I'm just like, I don't know if you'd win or lose moving, because it's like all that surrounds them is the desert, so and they're on horseback. The people they're trying to get away from, the horseback people would 1000% have an advantage, and I think a bunch of y'all going out. I just don't. I honestly, from like a strategic, like a tactical standpoint, staying in the shaded kind of like walled off area that y'all have is a better plan than to go out into the desert on barefoot while trying to go against people who are trying to hunt you down on horseback. So, all the nostalgia and.
Okay, but there is another question though that I still don't understand about this whole sequence of events. They know. Okay, so those Fallout character rejects, whatever they are, that are doing the bidding of the Dark Wizard. The reason they're after the Harfoots is so that they can use them as bait for Gandalf. Because they want to try to get to Gandalf. But the last time we saw the Dark Wizard, he got a report that Gandalf was with Tom Bombadil, who also gave the Dark Wizard his staff and everything. So he knows where Tom is. So why can't he just send his men there? Why do they still need the Harfoots at all?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one who doesn't quite understand why are they after them.
Okay. So they're having a moment. She's talking about why she can't leave, and I'm just like, from a practical standpoint, it's much better if you don't leave. And the actress of the head Sand Harfoots is way better than the show deserves, in my opinion. Just my opinion on that.
No, that's fair.
But like she actually like cries, and I'm just like, wow, look at you. And I believe like that she wants to stay here and fight for it. And I'm just like, all right, yeah, whatever. I really want to skip the stupid Poppy nobody scene. Okay, Poppy and nobody make out in this episode, and it's just you're just kind of like, okay, whatever, I guess.
Because everyone was demanding a Poppy romance subplot. We
Nobody
needed
wanted this.
Like,
absolutely nobody wanted. Maybe 2 people on Twitter.
It's like, oh, okay, we're doing this apparently. Still don't understand why you needed Poppy at all. She had her story, and she became kind of important to her own people. So why is she here? It makes no sense.
Well, also Poppy just straight up confirms that she's a fucking idiot, because she literally says, "Hey Nori, if you say something enough, I'm just gonna believe it." And I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of power to just give Nori. Holy shit! Like, like what the hell?
There was also a bit in this scene when Poppy and Nori are talking. There was a bit of editing that drove me crazy.
What? So, you mean when she goes from making out with the guy to immediately being over with Nori, and it's
no, not that. I can take that happened. This conversation has happened later. It's not that instant change. There's a shot. So the shot is Nori's in the foreground, and you're seeing Poppy and behind her talking. And then there's the reverse shot where we see it's an over the shoulder shot of Poppy looking at Nori, right?
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Nori finishes her line, and she's looking right at Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it cuts back, Nori is looking down at the ground, listening to Poppy's response. And that is I want to take the editor and smack him. Like, you didn't wait for the actress to, go back to her neutral position before you made the cut? Come on. Like, that's basic. That's basic editing. Make sure the people are in the same positions that they are when you change the shot.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not allowed.
I just want to because we haven't really talked about the editing of this show, but the editing is bad.
We can't. Okay, if we can't we don't even know how time works in this universe. Okay, we can't talk about the editing. All right, they haven't even figured out how time works. The editing is so far behind as far as like an important thing to talk about.
That is true.
Ugh. All right. Not me looking at food while we're talking because I'm hungry. Oh, here's your scene that you love so much. The staff scene where he's like, "Look, now's the time to pick out your staff and go, Josh."
Okay, well, so Yeah, so he had a vision. So Gandalf, not Gandalf, had a vision of his young female friend, and he just decided to get some wood. I mean, we've all been there.
Normal. You know, you see a child in your dreams, and you decide to go get wood. That's fine, I guess. Gandalf,
Yeah.
you weirdo.
So he's telling him, I had a vision, and I'm afraid that Nori and Poppy might be in danger. And then Tom Bombadil replies with, many who live deserve death, and some who die deserve life. Who are you to give it to them? I literally had to pause the episode and let my anger simmer down after that, because they are taking one of the most profound lines in all of Lord of the Rings, stripped away all context, and had it be used as a, well, if your friends die, they die. What the hell, dude? Because
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
yeah, I mean, because so in the book and in the movie, it's Frodo talking with Gandalf about Gollum, and he's like, it's a pity Bilbo didn't kill Gollum when he had the chance, and he goes on to his spiel about how, like, pity. It was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand. Many who live deserve death, and some who die deserve life. Can you give it to them, Frodo? My heart tells me that Gollum has a part to play in this, for good or ill, before this is over. And then he goes into the, I wish none of this had ever happened, and like, so do all who live to see such times. It's Gandalf is telling Bilbo that, Gollum may be irredeemable, but he's still a living creature. He's just pitiful.
You're robotic.
Oh no, I'm roboting?
You're robotic.
Oh no.
I didn't want to tell you because you were doing so good.
How long ago did I robot?
I mean, I can understand you. You're doing that. You're doing a not a high robot, but a low robot.
Oh no.
Where you're still understandable, but it's like noticeably robotic.
Oh, Chris said I was fine.
No, you're fine. Maybe it's on my end. Please continue.
Okay.
Does it matter if I hear it if my audience can? Fine. Go ahead.
The point is, it's a lesson Gandalf is teaching Frodo about the value of life, and that there are some things that are beyond our control. It's not a, well, if your friends die, they die. Oh, it just made me really mad to have Tolkien's words stripped of all meaning and put into this context. I truly hated it.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They have the money to spend on this, so therefore they can do whatever they want.
And before the show, you were telling me that you actually missed it.
Yeah, I didn't even dawn on me that line, that was the same line, because it was just...
It's completely stripped of its meaning.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, really, in the context, and so my brain missed it. I knew there was a line coming, and I still missed it.
Because I texted you after I saw it, and I was like,
Yes.
I believe that was the actual lines of my text. It wasn't
Something
just
about that. It was about that, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But then also in context of the scene, Tom's just being an asshole to Gandalf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, well, it's like it's like the Russian guy in Rocky 4. If he dies, he dies.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I'd rather watch Rocky 4 than Rings of Power.
Wow.
And that's the one with the robot.
Oh my goodness.
There's just a random robot in the movie.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, guess where we are? We're now at Khazad-dûm. Yeah. So there's a whole there's a whole bunch of shots of the doors are digging a lot, you know. And then they have these wheelbarrows full of gold for some reason. You know. I kind of assume that's the gold that the other kingdoms of the doors were sending his way, but they're just putting it in piles before his throne, and it's very confusing.
It's very Scrooge McDuck.
Yes. Like, what's even the point of having it in separate piles at this, you know? It's just, it's in the way, it's annoying. King Durin has kind of become he's kind of become a silent gremlin. He's doing nothing. Sad because he's one of the best actors in the show. So to have him not act is kind of just sad.
Yeah. I think King Durin's character is now broken.
Yeah. And Prince Durin has been summoned, and he's like, "What's up, homie?" And then King Durin says, "Nope, not me." And then we see Sauron, and I'm just like, "Oh, great." God, we really just have no idea how long it takes to get here. So quick. And not at all. I have no idea. Every time an elf or a dwarf goes from the forge to Khazad-dûm, vice versa, it makes me want to hit my head against the wall because I'm like, God help me. You better hope it takes like 2 hours to walk there, or else none of this makes sense.
You know, can you pick some mithril up at the store, honey?
Yeah, it's on the way home from the market.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, like, you know, Sauron's just like, hey.
Hold on. Okay, so hold on, because there's something I find very funny about this whole scene. And it's clearly not intentional because they had to write it.
Yes. Oh, do you mean the little spot between Sauron's teeth that you can see? There's a smidgen of a space, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I was not thinking that, but I will be on the lookout now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My point was, so Durin the Fourth arrives in the throne room and goes, "You summoned me, father?" And he goes, "No, he did." And the camera pans over and there's Sauron. And Sauron goes like, "Hello." And then he continues to speak to the king. It's like, why did you summon him then?
Yeah.
Durin the Fourth literally does not need to be in this scene.
No, I actually have no idea why he's here.
Because Sauron summoned him to troll him, I guess?
I guess, yeah. just to be like, nana, nana, boo, boo. Just like, oh, Jesus, Sauron.
It's like, we need more mithril. We can supply you with timber, and so you can make your mine shafts that you need to dig too greedily and too deep. And King Durin goes, no. And you get like a
Well,
small
also,
little. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I interrupted you. It's fine.
Oh.
My brain did a thing. It's fine. Continue.
So then you get like this moment where younger Durin is like gets a moment where he's hopeful for his father, and Sauron's like, fine, I don't have to take this, I'm going home. And then King Durin then says, oh, they're desperate, so we'll use it to boost the price. And that's it. That's the scene.
Yeah, no, I mean it's so just it's so on the nose of Sauron just like, hey, you need to honor your deal. And King Durin's like,
even
no,
though
I will.
Even though I didn't even know there was a deal in place. I thought it was just like a one-time thing, not like a continual supply.
Yeah. Nobody's communicating with one another. And he's just like, no, we're not going to give you any more mithril. And I'm just like, so did you have a thing or did you not?
Like,
I thought they did. I thought they did when King Durin went to the forge. When he actually went there. The only time we've seen him there and outside the mine. I thought that was something that was mentioned. Maybe. But it's been so long, and my brain doesn't remember very well what this show has to offer. I thought he said, oh, we'll give you mithril, but I didn't know if that was a trade agreement or just a one-time thing because they never established that.
No. I see, I thought it was like a one-time offer.
I didn't know it, but this
because
episode made it the elves thought it was,
Yeah, so, and it was also because they were making the rings specifically for the dwarves, so it's like, why would they need a continual supply then? Because the dwarves' issues with the mountain was the ticking clock, the completely artificial ticking clock. So I thought that to me kind of implies that it was a one-time deal. It's like, okay, here's the mithril you need for this one project, not a continuous one.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, it's like I just think they made up the trade agreement. Like honest and
but if they're going to do that, though, they need to convey that information to the audience.
Well, that they really struggle at doing that. So Sauron ends up leaving.
Yeah,
they do. Sauron leaves, and he's kind of like,
you got to get the deals in writing, guys. Come on.
Yeah, because Sauron leaves, and God only knows what he's gonna do, and King Durin and Prince Durin have a little chat, and Prince Durin's like, "Hey, are you okay, man?" And he's like, "Never better." And he's like, "He'll be back." And Prince Durin's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean he'll be back?" And he's like, "Well, he just said there's war coming, and do you know what they're gonna need? Us. So hells yeah." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, fair point, but I don't know if I'd be smiling while talking about an upcoming war." Like,
true.
He felt the Balrog's presence. I wouldn't be. Sauron in the show would totally do that. He would totally set the Balrog on the doors, which was already there, woken up by a leaf.
And then annoyed by Disa.
Yeah. And then Disa, it's not
Obviously, he's looking for the nightlight.
obviously. Oh, he's trying to pee. He can't see shit. He's trying to look for a nightlight, just
I don't want to have to turn myself on just to try to find the bathroom.
yeah. Like, God, then I'm gonna fully wake up, and I don't want to do that.
It's like, I don't have to get up for work for another 9 centuries, so come on.
Yeah. But the king's just like, yeah, we get when war happens, we're gonna profit like a fuck ton. We're gonna name our price, and we gotta take it. We gotta grip it by the throat. I think he says.
I mean, he's a sound businessman. Gotta give him that.
Yeah, and then he's like, hey, everyone has double shift now. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's not gonna go over well.
That's not being a good businessman.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we kind of reversed ourselves. And Prince Durin's just like, hey Dad, can you just take off the ring? And I don't know why this moment of all times is when he decides he wants to do that. I'd be real honest with you. There was a lot other more concerning times.
Yeah.
But I will. Maybe I'm being too hard, because if you saw your dad smiling about basically being a prophet of profiting off of war, I don't know. I think I'd also be like, hey, can you take that cursed object off your hand? Yeah.
That thing that we don't know anything about.
Yeah. He's an arms dealer. No, 1000%. He's an arms dealer at this point.
Technically, he's more of an oil tycoon.
Ooh.
Because he's not making the weapons themselves.
He does give oil tycoon energy. Yeah. He's like, I have nothing to prove to you. It's just like, I mean, he's right. He's the king.
He's the king, so yeah.
And then they have a little bit of a scrap, and Prince Durin gets absolutely
which none of the other rings were ever depicted as to granting superhuman strength, but all right.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit bullshit. I didn't mind if he smacked him off and he went tumbling down the stairs. That would have been fine. But yeah,
he went flying across the whole room.
He went flying across the whole fucking throne room, and then Disa's having her Batman origin story. Literally, she's we have to do it ourselves. She's doing environmentalist. She's gonna chain herself to the mine. You can't mine here if I chain myself to it.
Just stop mithril.
Big mithril is. He called the whole army upon us. Durin, honestly, he kicked your ass with one hand.
Yeah.
He could probably rip you out of the chains.
Yeah.
And Disa's starting a revolt. She's starting to think we got to start this revolution. And I'm just kind of Disa, I don't know where this energy is coming from. And God, I wish you were in a better show.
It's back to how she ended season 1, where she's like, "We will soon take over."
It's so weird how she's giving us end of season 1 energy at the end of season 2, and I'm like, is this how her character is going to be at the end of each season? She's just all going to sudden want to revolt and overthrow the dad, randomly. Now she does have more of a reason now. Because, I mean, they're right. That is a cursed object that he is on.
Yes.
It's you're right,
we also got some backstory where she came from a broken home.
Oh, yeah. Disa, who is a black dwarf, her father...
was not in the picture.
Is not in the picture. That's very classy of y'all to totally do a racist stereotype.
Yeah. Of course.
That's kind of annoying. Actually, that's super annoying. Oh, really? You couldn't give the black dwarf a wholesome family?
No.
You had to have her come from a broken home and a single mother? Really? We had to do that? Okay. That's great, Amazon. I'm glad that you have hired a bunch of racists.
We're so progressive.
We're so progressive, we became racist. Because unironically...
her father went out to mine ore and never came home.
God, man, that is just so racist.
It's what happens in the show.
I'm not. Yeah, it is. It's just baffling. He's, Prince Durin's just like, I can't go against my dad, and it's just like, dude, that ain't your dad anymore. I'm sorry. And he's like, I still see my dad, and I'm like,
but once again, I do want to point one out. That scene also just proves once again that Prince Durin is the best actor of the show.
I don't know.
I did feel some pain. I felt the genuine pain from him.
It's him and Disa. I go back,
Yeah.
and the king. I used to be the king. Whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back and forth with them. Those three are really good actors, and they deserve to be in something better. Because I think they do.
Oh,
really
absolutely.
Good. Please go somewhere else. Be happy in a different show. You deserve more. Oh, because I totally believe Prince Durin and Disa's relationship.
Yeah.
Like they're totally a married couple, and I love them.
They have great chemistry. They work. They have great chemistry, and they play off each other very, very well. It's just their dialogue is terrible.
Yeah, I'm just like, guys, go to a different show.
Yeah.
She's soothing. She sees he's distressed, and she's, she tries to make him feel better. And it's just nice. It's always a little bit of a fresh air.
Justin, Theo is the worst actor of the show. I don't know, the elf assistant lady's also up there.
I'm gonna go and say I've seen more of the elf assistant lady than I have Theo. I've seen Theo like twice, but I don't know.
Theo's barely been in this season.
Yeah. Well, because his mom's gone, there's nothing for him to do.
I know.
I'm not even kidding. That's like, so
okay. they just kind of forgot about poisons, even though she's a healer.
Yes.
So she should have known.
Yes. Now, guess where we're back at? Are you excited? We're back at Numenor. Woo!
Yay!
And the daughter is talking to the captain. Just gonna call them that. Their names, my brain can't handle that. And she's like, I kind of regret doing this, just a smidgen. And I'm just like, yeah, you were a dumbass.
She doesn't seem at all remorseful that her supposed friend also died.
Yeah.
It's like I was expecting her to talk about whatever his name, what's his face, but he's not brought up.
Honestly,
it's like, well, I mean, it's one thing for me not to care. He's supposed to be like her childhood friend.
Well, it's also like she's doing all this because he apparently didn't look hard enough to find Isildur, and it's like, yeah, but that friend of Isildur's just died.
A volcano went off.
I know, but whatever. It's like, so you're gonna be mad at your dad and basically side against him politically, even though he really politically shouldn't be affected either way, because it's just the change of rulers, not the change of, like, you know what I mean? The show doesn't understand that.
No.
But he, the daughter's just like, hey, Trial by Abyss, huh? You're just like, Trial by Abyss. Okay, that's a great name.
Trial by Combat's kind of like a, it kind of rolls off the tongue. It's really, it's like,
yeah.
It has lots of, what could this mean? Trial by Abyss? Like, okay.
Sounds bad, yeah. Like, his offer, Farazan's offer of mercy still stands. And he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. What, you think after that big show I put on that I'm going to do that now? Fuck off. And I have to agree with him. He's not doing that. I don't know why you think you should have pleaded with him, but,
yeah.
Like, after everything in this family I've lost, I cannot lose you too. And I said, you have done literally everything to make sure he loses, that you lose him. You
Plus,
know?
it's also like he's also here because of you.
Yeah, you're like, this is like a direct consequence of your actions. So what? Shut up, woman. Just shut up. I can't stand her character.
I mean, I, I had issues with her character in the first season simply due to she doesn't exist. But from what was presented, she seemed fine. This doesn't seem like the same character in the slightest, and she's insufferable.
Yeah. I mean, she's over here crying over the fact that he might die, and she tells him instead of "I love you," she says "swallow your pride," and I'm like, pride has literally nothing to do with this. He was set up for murder by the son of the guy who's now in charge. What the? And you
The guy
helped
who
him become in
and the guy who killed your best friend.
Yeah, so I don't even understand. Swallow your pride, bitch. Go away.
Yeah.
And he's like, if after all of this, all you see is pride, and then ... And I'm just like, yeah, honestly, like, kind of embarrassing. There are no words left to speak. But yeah, the fact that she thinks this has anything to do with pride, it's like, no, we're far beyond that. Like, we're not even close to pride being the reason this is happening. Like, at all. Just what a stupid thing to say. Child, how were you going to be a scholar? You were incredibly dumb.
Not a clue. Yeah. It's like I thought she was going to like become like an engineer.
Yeah,
but,
I thought she was going to school for engineering, and now we're
and
here.
then
I have
and
no
now
idea.
and suddenly she switched majors to poli-sci apparently.
Oh, but guess what? Guess what? The king said that he would say that because he's looking in the thing. Said your hatred for him had become hatred for me, and I'm like, oh my god, we've gone so far backwards now again. Okay, he really doesn't hate you. He's like, you just don't understand what's happening, child. And that's how he should address her. You're a child.
Yeah. Even though the actress is actually 30.
She's older than me.
Yeah.
Okay, like definitely looks it too.
Clearly supposed to look younger.
Yeah. It's like, oh, and you would forever shut your ears to my voice, and so I knelt before him, and I'm like, oh my god, where's this going? And then, like, oh,
oh my.
Yeah, you're just like, knelt before, and you begged, and with my tongue to the dust for the chance. You know, it's just like, oh my goodness. And you're just like, oh my god, Mariel! Oh, hi. Why the fuck is Mariel here? How did she get here? Nobody's walking her.
She summoned her. She brought her, but because
Mariel's been in the shadows this whole time.
I guess so. It's just like standing there waiting to like yeah. Well, if you can't convince him not to let himself get eaten by a monster, you can give it a go.
Yeah, and he's like, now to Farazan. Just like, what?
And he like is fighting back on that. Like, if she herself is saying, "Don't fight this,"
honestly, don't fight it. She's
it's
so
like,
lame.
why?
Like, she's so lame. She won't fight for herself. Then why are you fighting for her?
Yeah. I don't get it.
And apparently, somehow, over the course of the last few episodes, she's had a complete... Now, I wish we would have fucking seen this properly. But she's apparently completely lost faith in herself and everything. And she's, like, chronically depressed now. And I'm just like, where did this come from?
See, but that's the thing. What you just described is what they want the audience to see is happening, but they haven't shown that.
I know. That's why I'm confused. I'm like, when did she become chronically depressed?
It's like this is you need to when a character has a moment that changes them. you need to not just see that, but also need to see them dealing with those ramifications. So her losing her sight and all the death that happened in Middle Earth when the Southlands decided to become Mordor. So, they decided they simply could just walk there, and all that fallout, and then to get back home and realize that her father is also now dead. I'm not denying that she's gone through some traumatic moments. The problem is we haven't seen her reaction to them.
No, it's
That's
just kind of
the
mouth
problem.
agape.
Yes.
Mouth kind of vague, like open a little bit. You're kind of like you're just shut and just very stern looking. I'm just confused. Like in this, towards the end of the scene, she says, like my heart. And I'm like, wait, are they actually like? I was joking about them becoming a couple. Are they actually supposed to be becoming a couple? Questions.
It certainly seems that way. They're certainly shipping them.
Yeah.
And the sea is always right. So.
Oh my God, he said it, and I laughed. God, hold on. Give me the scene. Give me the scene where he says it. Come on, it's right there. Come on.
I know you said
it. Oh, no. Come on, say it. Come on, say it. Say it. It's right there. Come on. No, I don't care that you're touching foreheads. Go. Move. The sea is always right. What if you die? Then the sea is always right. So that definitely means that his wife who drowned, he said that at her funeral.
Yes.
He watched her drown and said the sea is always right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if I die, the sea is always right. Oh my gosh, I thought you'd bury that line because it was so horrible. That is so funny that you brought it back. Oh, that's funny. Oh, the show really acted like it's had 5 years of character development. Oh, but guess what? We're back at Khazad-dûm because fuck me. And it's your favorite part. It's your favorite part of the whole episode.
It's the thumbnail image.
It is the thumbnail image.
Yeah, can you show it a little bit better? Can you like share that image so we can really truly see it?
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on.
Should be able to just minimize this, right?
Oh, yes, you're right. Yep, I forgot that that's a thing we can do on here. Oh, hold on. Here, hold on. I'm gonna briefly do it, and then we'll come back up. Aha!
Oh my goodness.
We did it.
Totally worth it.
Worth it. Yes.
So yeah.
Beautiful.
Disa becomes Batman.
No joke. So Disa decides to stand in front of the cavern for the dwarves to mine, and she sings, which I hope if that's her real voice, fantastic voice. But she sings and summons bats to come attack the dwarf miners, and they run away like children.
Even though you would expect dwarves who live in, the caves of mountains would be used to bats. So I don't understand why they would run away. But all right.
She totally has a Batman Begins moment.
Yes. And it's not set up. It's like, oh, okay, she's singing and suddenly bats come after them. All right.
That's what we're doing. Okay, weird choice. And then guess where we're back. So instead of this being too continuous.
Well, hold on, because how does that scene end?
Oh, they say, oh, this is just the beginning. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they'll be well after they all run away. What does Durin say?
That he loves her.
Yeah.
is Love Me Later, which I thought was funny. Actually, unironically, for the show, I thought this was funny.
It wasn't bad.
Well, it just caught me by surprise that this show actually had a line of dialogue that was meant to be funny that I found funny.
See, I did not laugh at it because I was still not comprehending that Disa was able to summon bats.
Oh, it took me until we went back to Numenor to fully realize what the hell had happened.
It's like, okay.
But 1000%, the dwarf scenes could have been combined, and the Numenorian scenes could have been combined. And it's like they're both awkward links, so that I know why editing wise they broke up the stories. But it's like they're too long and too short. Does that make sense? Yes, Eris, that is a brilliant idea. You are amazing. Thank you, Joe.
It was. I didn't just suddenly mute myself because I had to go across the room to turn on my air conditioner because it's becoming unbearable in the office.
Oh my goodness. It's fine. No, I was saying that the scenes, the Numenorian and dwarf scenes should have been combined, but at the same time I understand why they weren't because of editing, but also those scenes are too short and too long. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like they need yeah, kind of a little annoying, but I understand why editing wise they broke them up. But at the same time, it's kind of weird how short they are. And how we go back and forth so quick.
Yeah.
So now we're back at Numenor, like I stated before. And there the sea is always right, damn straight. We're gonna summon a sea worm for trial by abyss.
As you do.
As one does. And it's like, yeah, the Valar are going to see if you're actually something they care about, you know? So, okay, all right.
So is this sea worm an actual Valar, or is it just a creature that's somehow connected to the Valar and it knows their will? I have absolutely no idea.
I don't either, because I thought it was manipulated by Sauron to eat that other boat in season 1. So
I guess.
Bat Dwarf, yes, Bat Dwarf, Ram Bam.
I'd watch that.
So, then the daughter comes up and is just like, "Hey, he can choose a champion, basically." Oh, who's the champion gonna be? The former queen. What? What the fuck do you mean the former queen is gonna stand in from him? It's like,
because that's how.
Technically.
I mean, that's how that would work.
Technically speaking, it isn't a champion. He is following, quote unquote. They're selling it as he was following her. So she's the one. So she has corrupted him. Therefore, she should be staying trial. I'm like, okay. Not quite sure that's how that works, but okay, whatever. You know. And he's like, oh well, you can't do that. She's like, yeah, I can. Anyway. You just don't care. I really don't care about these women. I really want that tsunami. I need it. Oh, and she's actually wearing the best thing I've seen her wear. The white looks really good, and I like the little thing on her shoulders that's kind of like scales. Like, that's fine. I thought she looked her best in this outfit, funnily enough. Just saying. Just my opinion. She somehow knows how to get down the rock cliff while blind and not assisted.
Yeah, and somehow the blind dwarf or the blind lady sneaks up on people.
Yeah, nobody saw her. She's wearing bright white, and it was the queen, so everyone should know who she is. And nope, does not. So she's sitting there, kind of just chilling, and you're kind of like, all right, well, honestly, this could be a really cool like pool, Kind of a bummer. There's a worm that likes to come up in here.
But I mean, it looks like you can see the whole pool area. So where exactly is that creature?
I have no idea.
Because it drags her down pretty deep.
Well, it drags her down very quickly and very deep. And you're just like, holy shit, how long do we go? Also, there's tentacles. Also, what's happening? I'm kind of confused of what this creature looks like because I don't remember it having tentacles in the first season, but to be fair,
I think it did.
It did. To be fair, I could have forgotten that. So,
Yeah.
It seems much bigger than it was, and the creature kind of looks cool. I like me a good, cool looking. It definitely looks cooler than I remember it looking in the first season. But I think the first season we got very little.
We didn't really see it.
So
we just saw it when it was attacking the ship, and that was about it.
Yeah, and it looked more ship than anything. Oh my goodness, Amazon Prime is not working. No. Work, damn you. Okay, there we go. So we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and oh my gosh, it spits her out. Like it literally throws her up out of the water onto land.
It spits her out like Jonah. It's just like blah.
Bleh.
It's like, okay.
And then she becomes queen of the sea. And you're just like, what the fuck are the politics? I have no idea.
And people are cheering her now. Like, what?
What is the political situation in Numenor? I could never keep up with this. I have no idea how. So 3 days. It took 3 days for Farazan to be nuked, and it's just like. So an eagle shows up at the Queen's coronation, and Farazan is somehow nominated after that.
Yeah.
And then it takes a sea monster to throw her up for her to become queen again. What the fuck are the politics of this show?
I mean, as convoluted as some of the politics in Game of Thrones can be, at least at least the rules are actually pretty simple. Right? It's like, okay, this guy doesn't have a son, so the daughter is the current heir, unless it's also it, but it could also be the brother, so there could be potential there. This guy has 3 sons, so he's set about his this family's set lineage for right now. It's easy. Things are the order of way because everyone's playing kind of by the same rules, right? Mm-hmm. The Lord of Winterfell, the Lord of Castle Rock, the Lord of Highgarden, they all basically follow the same rules in terms of succession. So it's pretty easy to understand. And then they all answer to the king in King's Landing.
Yeah.
I have no clue what is going on in Numenor. I don't have a single idea.
No. I don't know less, because then we go to him looking at the Palantir. And I'm just like, and he looks at it, it turns into fire. And it kind of looks like an eyeball. And you're like, oh my goodness. Oh, he's looking in and he sees Halbrand. And he sees the Mordor. And then you're just like, wait, now does he not know Halbrand is Sauron? Like, what the fuck was the point of that?
And I don't have any clue how that would affect anything going on in Numenor.
Yeah, well, he's no longer the king, so he has no power now. I'm just like, what the hell, show?
I don't know.
Also, so now it's nighttime, right? And you're telling me that he's still in the palace, right? Like, that's where the Palantir was kept was the pa-
Or is he still technically now in? Is he still in charge? But she's the queen.
I
But
have
he's still the
no
king.
idea.
It,
Josh, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I know because I have read the Silmarillion.
Don't they?
That
Are they supposed to get
that
married and they both die?
yes, yes. Fehérezon forces his own cousin Muriel to marry him. Yeah,
So he can gain power. Yeah.
they're related, by the way. There's such a
Yeah.
strong family resemblance.
Yeah, they're
But
vaguely brown. They're related show, right?
but yeah, they yeah, it is Queen Muriel by the end.
Yeah, she's addressed as Queen Muriel. So now I
Yeah.
have to go, okay, so I'm sorry. What the fuck? I feel like my time's been wasted, Numenor.
I don't have a clue.
I don't know. Your fucking politics are so horseshit. Like, I just, like, again, queen coronation, that makes sense, right? The king has died,
Yes.
so the queen regent is being coronated. That's why she's having a coronation so that she can actually become the official queen. It's
Right.
a lineage thing. Fine. I'm okay with that. Whatever. All right. But I think if you oust your king, then you should have probably ousted the whole family and nominated a new ruler, which would have been Pharazôn because they're cousins, but they're distant enough away that it works, you know. So that would have made sense, but we didn't do that.
But then you could have had like a council of the High Lords or something like that, so they can discuss who would who has the stronger claim to the throne, and then you can throw in the whole thing about this eagle prophecy, and that's when you have an eagle show up by Fehérezon because he arranged it somehow.
Yeah, he sent a letter. Like you could have him more scheming and underhanded.
Yes.
I really haven't seen him be scheming and underhanded, like at all. It's just he was as surprised as everybody else was that an eagle showed up.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
Which is still doesn't make any sense that the prophecy was about the coronation. An eagle would bless the coronation, and it's the coronation of Muriel. So why did everyone go to Fehérezon? It makes no sense.
Why did everyone assume Pharazôn was the king? I don't know. Then he started doing a whole bunch of shit to piss off the people, which is funny because the entire point of season 1 was him winning the people. So he took advantage of Muriel's absence to win over the popularity of the people. And then when he came back and got into power, he immediately started pissing off everyone.
He also supported Muriel in going to Middle Earth.
Yeah, so that he could get rid of her. He got rid of her and then was trying to. That's what the show was trying to show. Was he was trying to sow seeds of chaos.
But we don't see him taking advantage.
Him do any of that.
We don't see. It's implied by people with a working brain that that's what he was doing.
I have to assume.
But we don't see him actually. Like, okay, now that she's gone, I'm gonna put the people that are loyal to me in these key positions that need to be filled, and blah 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 blah. We don't see any of that. We don't see him undermining the regent's authority.
Yeah. And then for some reason, so it took. Okay, so this is how Muriel got back in power. Okay, Pharazôn sent his son to basically interrupt this like bullshit ceremony thing, so that he could, we're gonna start building an aqueduct at 2 a.m. Okay, whatever. Everyone has to leave.
Be sure to interrupt a funeral service.
Yeah, it's a funeral service, and he goes in, ends up killing the best friend of the captain's son,
who we discussed at length deserved to die.
Yes, and he then is saying, okay. So all these people, there's like 30 witnesses. They're all on the captain's side. And he says, okay, everyone, the captain started it. And then he gets arrested for treason. He's put on trial for treason. He can redact, he can, he cannot be charged with crimes as long as he swears loyalty to Farazan. He refuses.
Sounds like a sweet plea deal to me.
Yeah, and then he refuses and is then put on, basically, instead of just being killed and executed immediately, he is instead put on trial by abyss, where the fucking sea worm that they summoned, it goes into a pool and then decides whether or not, like the Salem witch trials, he is innocent or guilty.
Right.
With, like, pretty much, it seems like, an almost no chance of him surviving. Muriel, who the blind former queen who sneaks up on everyone onto this rocky area.
Well, okay, no, you don't understand. Because she can't see, people have a hard time seeing her. That's how it works.
What? That's fair. That's fair. She decides to take his place. And then because she takes his place and is judged as not guilty, she becomes queen. What the fuck, show? I don't understand. None of that makes sense. But sure, buddy. But fucking sure. Anyway, moving on.
Yay.
We're back with Gladriel, our favorite. And Gladriel's like, yeah, Halbrand is Sauron. And he's in Eregion to craft rings to allow him to dominate my kind, which is why he's been crafting rings for everyone but the fucking elves, Gladriel. I'm glad that you know everything. He's going to dominate my kind by not dominating my kind. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know, the Celebrimbor's secretary is pretty fucking smitten with him. So it's pretty much in the bag at this point.
Also, how does she know that they're making dwarven rings?
They don't. She says to dominate my kind. It's presumed that she thinks she's making them for elves, not dwarves. So I'm going to show that. She does not specify for dwarves. She says my kind.
Okay.
Which, as much as we don't think she's an elf, she is technically an elf. So she's kind of doing tactical, discussions with Adar, which is, funnily enough, the most actual Galadriel thing I've seen her do thus far. It's discuss tactics with somebody. Because that's very much Lord of the Rings Galadriel. She would do that.
Yeah.
Be at a table discussing tactics. So it's kind of a weird moment. And she's like, unlock me. And I'm thinking, unlock yourself. Those are some shit cuffs.
Yeah.
And honestly, you're supposed to be allies at this point, right? Like, you've kind of bonded or whatever. I mean, it's kind of like...
I don't understand why she seems so hesitant, because her entire motivation throughout the entirety of the first season was destroying Sauron. And here's another person who wants to destroy Sauron.
Yeah.
You'd think she'd be more open to listening to him.
He uncuffs her. Isn't that exciting?
Yay.
As we speak, Elrond hastens from Lindon with an army of elves, which we, by the way, haven't seen yet. So I'm glad that we're being told that. I had no idea Elrond was doing that. Because last time I saw, Elrond was out of breath coming to go Gallad saying, we're all fucking stupid. Which I have to agree with him.
Yes.
On that. Yeah. I didn't know he had an army of elves, but, she could be bluffing. And with Nunya, with Nunya, my ring. I know that's not how you pronounce it, but that's how my brain read it, and it's funnier. Like, none of your business.
I made the same joke to my wife when the scene played.
Excellent. We are of one mind and one comedic level, apparently. And she fucked up because he's like, oh, I see. Oh, you only want the ring. And I'm just like, guys, can we stop with, oh, you're obsessed over the ring? I'm like, no, she's obsessed over Sauron. Get that great. Okay, she
Yeah.
does not give a shit about the ring compared to how much she wants to be around Sauron. And it's like, oh, so we'll get Celebrimbor away from Sauron's grasp, and then, you know, we can eradicate all traces of Sauron from this world. I would have I think that story would have been so funny if Adar Galadriel fucking stabbed Sauron with his crown and destroyed him.
See, we learned from our mistake this time. We'll have a mop ready and we'll be able to suck up the goo.
We'll have a vacuum cleaner. It's fine. You know.
We have a shop vac. It'll take care of it this time. We got this. We got this.
Yeah. And then
we didn't know what the goo did last time. Now we do.
Yeah, we didn't. Oh, also, we need to have a containment field ready for when he inevitably explodes into ice. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But to be fair,
make sure you have some fires ready, even though that won't work because they won't give off any heat.
It's too evil for there to be hot. It's too evil for it to be hot. That's a fun sentence that actually totally makes sense within the confines of this show.
It does.
Too cold to be hot.
It's too cold to be hot.
No, it's too evil, okay? It's too evil to be hot. It literally can't be hotter because there's so much evil, which is why Mordor has a
mountain
volcano.
Yes, a mountain volcano. That's more powerful than the forge in Eregion because that's where Sauron forged the One Ring.
Oh yes, and honestly, I would not be surprised if the One Ring was forged by the end of this episode 8.
I don't know if they'll go that far.
Well, the nine rings will definitely be
I think they'll end with the 9 rings being crafted.
And then do you think
then they'll need to find 9 new human characters to give them to.
The only 9 I know is Isildur's dad, Miriel. We have Pharazôn. We have Isildur's sister. We have Isildur's dad. We have the son of Pharazôn. I got 6.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Theo.
Oh, Theo, that's 7. I would have said Roderick, but he's dead. So
Pharazôn's son.
Yeah, I already counted him. We're at 7 as far as human characters I know.
Yeah. I mean, we had Brawin, but she's gone now.
Yeah. All right. So then Adar asks a question of, hey, do you think Gil-galad would be cool with orcs? Or will he proceed to his plans to invade Mordor? And, and it's kind of like, I have no fucking idea. Quite frankly.
Yeah, because and as an audience member, I have no idea either because Gil-galad has been completely useless.
Well, it seems like his character ended in episode 1 or 2 of this season. So yeah. I don't really know what else he's supposed to do at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh well, oh, you're not gonna. So you've just been playing me to reveal shit, and quite frankly, I'm with him on this. You've already revealed plenty. Is everything I hoped you would and more. Yeah, she kind of said a lot, didn't she? Probably could have pleaded the 5th there for a minute, just
yeah.
Maybe not tell him everything you knew and way more that you just kind of assume, like Elrond having for a reason. I don't know why you would know that. He's like, all of Aragon might be under Sauron's control. I'm like, you have scouts, right? Surely you could scout that. Or you could do something really weird where you send Galadriel out there as like a sign of trust and kind of see what's going on, Because she's an elf.
That could have been interesting. Yeah.
That could have been interesting, because
it could have been an interesting idea. Yeah.
Because, does Elf Sauron look enough like Halbrand? I don't know. I mean, obviously he does, but, I don't know Galadriel. She's both as stupid and as smart as she needs to be.
Yes.
And, Galadriel goes, hey, I think Sauron wants you to invade Aragorn. And it's like, oh. Why? Why would he want that? It's like, oh, to get your orc army. You mean the orc army that turned against him last time? Yeah, sure. I'm sure he's not going to throw them into the fiery pits of, Mount Doom and get another army that's better. That just... Yeah, Sauron will lose the battle to Adar, but I think Sauron isn't planning to fight him.
No.
I think he's going to get the 9 rings and then fuck off to Mount Doom. Honestly, I think he's literally just waiting for. That's
the
why
ring.
He's like,
yeah,
he wants the rings. The second he has the ring, Celebrimbor, he'll throw him out the window, and then just take off to Mount Doom and leave Aragon to be destroyed. I would not be surprised if that is what the next 2 episodes are about.
Yeah, I don't think he is trying to. I don't think he gives a crap about Aragon. It's just that's where he currently is.
The rings for humans are most. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just saying he's just gonna, as soon as the rings are forged, he's gonna leave.
Oh, he does not care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely does not care.
And then Celebrimbor will be like, wait, that was Sauron. My mind is clear now.
He's going to say, what have I done? It's going to turn into that one Linkin Park song into the credits. You know what I'm talking about, right?
How could this happen to me?
Yes. Well, no, it's What I've Done, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
That's right.
Da.
I was thinking of the Simple Plan song.
Oh no, Linkin Park. What I've Done.
This happened to me.
Oh, that's equally as funny. I just like the idea of going to like a Michael Bay credit scene where it's Linkin Park.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And then suddenly a giant robot just appears for no reason.
Oh yes.
And it would instantly improve the show.
Yes. Oh, and then we see that Adar apparently has like 2,000 orcs. 2,000 orcs have somehow managed to appear. I don't know.
So much for that keen elven eyesight, right?
I mean, it has gone anywhere between 30 to maybe 100 to there are like bare minimum 2,000.
Yeah, you would think the people in the watchtowers would be able to see them. Because
they did. They saw the fires burning. They saw the fires burning in the forest at night. Aren't you proud that the elves who could... Oh, God. So, yeah, this is the part where it's like, okay, elvish eyes, I have a question for you. How did you not see them in the forest right outside your door? How did you have to wait till there are literal thousands of them? Mm-hmm. Also, I'm sure you could have heard them. And it has to be like there's so many more. I have no idea how many there are. I'm sure there will be a different amount next episode.
Oh, probably. There's
So,
no way that
yep,
they should have been able that they would have gone undetected from the elves. It's just not
yes.
possible. Moving that many people that close, like no.
Also,
But there's trees.
there are trees. There are trees. I will say, Sauron, he got his hand, his fucking palm of his hand. I hate it when people do. He didn't need to do that, but sure. On the palm of his hand, he does some magic bullshit, and we see Celebrimbor creating ring pops because it's really shit, quite frankly. Just very badly drawn rings. Just for some reason, these are polished. It looks like, even though we know they're not going to be polished when we see them.
Mm-hmm.
And he crosses off one that looked almost okay and continued with the really shit scribble one because he obviously didn't draw that. The actor didn't. Somebody else drew that.
Right.
So, and Celebrimbor's like, wait a second. I hear things. I'm like, yeah, Celebrimbor, there are things happening.
Yeah, the alarm bell's ringing. There's people screaming outside.
Yeah. And he goes to look outside, the doors have holes in them where he could just look outside. It's clearly nighttime. I want to point that out, guys. It is clearly nighttime. It is nighttime in the office because it is very dark in the office and it's lit by torch and candlelight. It is nighttime when he tries to open the door to his balcony of his forge. It is very clearly nighttime. It was nighttime in the forest with the orcs. It was nighttime when the horn was blown. It was nighttime when the what are they called? When the elves saw that there were people in the trees, that's nighttime. The whole thing, it's nighttime. And Celebrimbor's like, well, you know what? I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to see for myself. And I've had, what is it? Oh my gosh. I got to get this quote exactly. Come on. I've had quite enough of you telling me where I belong. And I'm like, no, you literally haven't because you keep agreeing to it very, very readily. With no actual pushback.
You understand he is manipulating you, and yet you continue to let it happen.
Yes. So
you're the one at you are just as much at fault right now.
Yes. And he's like, unhand me. You have my hand, unhand me. And he's like, fine. Fucking go look. And he guilt trips him. He's just like, it'll be your fault when Middle-earth falls. And then he proceeds, I get to go down the entire tower. That's a lot of stairs.
So maybe that's why he wasn't that concerned, because it takes so long to climb up and down them.
Yeah, he had like an hour to, go down the stairs. And Sauron...
Why didn't we install an elevator in this thing?
Oh my gosh. Sauron then, closes his eyes before some bullshit magic, and then Celebrimbor opens the doors, and it's daytime.
And
Celebrimbor knows it's nighttime.
Yeah.
He knows it's nighttime, and he sees it's daytime, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Now, this is impressive, but it's also really, really stupid because it's daytime now.
You think that'd tip him off?
Yes.
But, everyone's just standing around. They're looking happy. No issues.
Mm-hmm.
And they just proceed to have, like... I was expecting, like, Sauron would, like, come down and be like, see, everything is fine. let's continue your work. And he'd be like, yeah, you're right. But no, they have a whole conversation while he's like manipulating his mind during a war.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, well, I tried to sell, I tried to do it myself, but I couldn't do it. And I had to have your help. I'm so happy that I have your help. Calibrimbor's like on the borderline of having a mental breakdown, which, he's like, I cannot forge more rings.
Marines.
Without mithril, I can't do it. Oh my god. And he's like, oh, but no problem. Because I went to Khazad-dûm, and it was such a quick trip that you had no fucking idea I had left.
Yeah. And they gave me a whole thing of mithril.
Yeah, well, okay. I guess he got some. I have no idea.
I don't know who did he talk to arrange that. I have no idea.
Yep. Like, okay, so I guess another deleted scene. And Celebrimbor is like, okay, I can do this. We'll do this. And Sauron's like, oh, my oath. When the history of this age is written, the Cimmerals. Oh my god, can you hurry up with the dialogue? The Cimmerals, they will merit little more than a whisper. But your rings... Wow, we're taking our time. The Rings of Power, which I am now thinking they're contractually obligated to say the Rings of Power once per episode.
It certainly seems that way.
They will be deemed the most precious creations in all Middle-earth. He does emphasize the word precious.
Did you see? He said the word, which is associated with the rings.
Yeah. Here's your hammer. Go forth. And now you have to go back up all those
carrying hardware.
Yeah. I will say the hammer looks better than any ring he has made, which is crazy.
It's true.
No. Go forth and do the thing. I'd imagine holding this vision while talking would be like holding a fart while trying to have a conversation.
Very true.
Kind of gave me that same energy, And then Sauron walks around, and the vision becomes... Oh my gosh, I know what it becomes. Could we go back? Oh, we got to swirl around Sauron and be fancy. And oh, look, we've changed and it's nighttime again because we forgot it was nighttime. And everyone's running. And people are falling down. And everyone's running in different directions, which I'm just like, okay, do we not know where the emergency exit is? And then Sauron slow-mo walks off with a smirk.
And this is admittedly a nitpick. I would have liked it more if when they were doing the transition, the people were doing movements that in one aspect it looked like they could be doing one thing, but then you see you see people dancing, but then no, it's actually they're trying to their clothes are on fire or something like that, and they're trying to put it out.
Yes, I had the same thoughts. Yes.
You could have done something with all these people that were there, and he's perceiving them one way, but it's actually a different way.
Yes.
You could have done something like that. It would have made
that's what they were gonna do.
But
and
no.
I'm so sad. Oh, what a missed opportunity from a cinematic standpoint, like a video standpoint.
And that it basically it sums up the entire show. Missed opportunities again and again and again. You know, you could have had a couple, like, you know, it looks like they're lying down for a picnic, and then when it comes back, you see, like, like she has like an arrow in her heart, and he's like trying to resuscitate her or something like that. Something. No. It's just it seems like there's zero creativity with this show.
Yep. That's pretty much it, by the way. I mean, so everyone's kind of watching everything go to shit, you know? And he's T-posing.
Well, hold on. Hold on. Did you watch the behind the scenes thing on the episode?
Of course I didn't. Why the fuck would I do that? No.
You want to see it? If you want to see just how uninspired, how stupid the writers of this show are. They mention they had Sauron like raise his arms as the orchestra's swelling because they wanted to illustrate he's orchestrating everything.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that at all.
It's like, okay, sure.
I was just like, no, he's T-posing. Like what I read. And then guess what? The orcs fire. And my first thought was, so what happens if they hit the forge? So did we think this through? Because it hits a tower.
Yeah. It'd be kind of like it's kind of like in Star Trek First Contact. Remember, Picard gives them the plan of, we got to be very careful not to shoot our phasers and hit the warp core, but hit the cooling tanks that are right next to the warp core.
Yes.
It's like, sir?
Yep.
It's like, we need to we need to attack this place because we want the forge, I guess, but don't hit the forge.
And that's it. Holy shit, we're done with the episode, and we did that so quick. It's because there's almost nothing that happens. It's insane how little happens in this episode.
Yeah, we only had the elf dude running. I don't think he had a single line, and that was it for him.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't even remember he was in the show until I was rewatching it to do this stream. Right.
There was no Theo.
Yeah.
And just basically just very quick scenes between the elves, the dwarves, and the Numenorians.
Yep.
And like pretty much nothing of major note happens.
Yeah.
It continues to amaze me how my brain does not retain anything that happens in this show.
Yeah.
It's like for our show here, I've watched every episode this season at least twice, and I still have a hard time remembering things.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes down to the simple fact of none of these characters have grabbed me. I'm not interested in anything that they're doing.
Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I got nothing else. I don't know if we're doing season 3. We might. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I have 2 years to decide on that. So.
Yeah, we have 2 years. That's assuming Amazon will continue.
Yeah. Yep. So. All right, everyone. Well, I got nothing going on. Do you have anything going on, Josh?
I'm Bat Dwarf.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Huh? I guess we'll see you next week for
Yep.
episode 7. And then I don't know when we're doing episode 8 because Josh and I have stuff happening for a couple weeks after that. So, yeah, thank y'all for coming. And we will see you next Saturday. Bye.
Right, bye, everyone.